Hi everyone, I'm Marina Galioto and I'm pleased to be here with Professor Maurizio Cellura, who is an engineer and currently director of the first Center for Sustainability and Ecological Transition inside the University of Palermo. First of all, thanks, Professor, to join this interview and for giving us the opportunity to know this organism and to learn what our university is doing to implement the strategic topic of sustainability and ecological transition. So, what is the center about and how is it composed?
Okay, first of all, thank you very much for this kind invitation and for giving me the opportunity to describe the main feature of the Center for Sustainability and Ecological Transition. The original idea was to establish a focus group of scientists with many different skills, many different experiences for establishing a real interdisciplinary group and transdisciplinary approach for coping with the huge challenges of ecological transition and more in general of sustainability. Starting from this, the idea was to select people with huge experiences in the Sustainable Development Goals of the 2030 agenda of the United Nations. We established this group and we started with this activity where the main aim is to define vision and strategies for defining the role of our universities within the general framework of sustainability and ecological transition.
Okay. And our rector, Professor Massimo Midiri, says that with the activities of the first Center of Sustainability, our university, one of the main players in the Sicilian territory, can boost its position as a point of reference and particularly in the Mediterranean context. What can you add to this comment after years of activities?
I believe that the vision of the Professor Midiri was of paramount importance because the idea to establish a center devoted to this kind of activity is important because within the university many scientists are strongly involved in the field of sustainability and ecological transition. But the idea to establish a center is important because a focus group with many different disciplines and many different scientists that working together is really effective. Starting from this, why the Mediterranean zone? Because Mediterranean area is a hotspot of climate change. Unfortunately, the consequences of the climate change probably will be exacerbated in the context of the Mediterranean Sea. We have a lot of different problems, starting from climate change, the increase of level sea, migration, and many others. And we need a strategy characterized by an interdisciplinary approach able to cope the complexity of this problem. And for doing this, the center starting with many different activities in different fields. Educational fields, research fields, and the relationship with the Mediterranean stakeholders that is very important in our activities. Why it is important? Because the Mediterranean could be an effective example of the worst condition due to the climate change.
And referring to educational pathways and research, can you mention some examples are you leading and promoting as a center?
Yes, sure, many. I would like to start with the Lecture Zero, is so-called Lecture Zero, in Italian language Lezione Zero, is the minimal content of sustainability that every member of the university community has to know for coping the challenge of the sustainability. We organized the Lecture Zero with the network of sustainable university. Is an Italian network for reaching sustainable development strategies and actions. With ASVIS, Alleanza per lo Sviluppo Sostenibile, is another important non-governmental organization strongly involved in the field of sustainability, with the friends and colleagues of the Mentore Project, and last but not least, with our students. We consider our students the real ambassador of sustainability.
Yeah, sure.
It's clear, we have more than 45,000 students, and if we change their view about the sustainability, their behaviors according to the possibility to start a new path, a more sustainable path, we will change the world around us. And is the first example. A second example is a master on sustainable management and bioeconomy, okay. With a huge participation from people of abroad, many foreign students. The third experience that I want to mention is an interdisciplinary course that we organize within the university on the nexus between water, energy, food, ecosystems. We believe that now the educational activities has to put a huge attention on the nexus between water, energy, food, ecosystems. And we had also cities and health, because we believe that the new concept of health, the so-called circular health, is very important, because we need to assure the health of the planet with the health of citizens and people and the community, because the earth hosts us.
Yes,
and we have to start from the good health from the earth. And last but not least, an experience of green public procurement course devoted to technicians and administrative personnel of our universities. Also in this case, the idea to work on the so-called indirect impacts, because we are organizing the implementation of many PV plants, the sorted waste, and many other activities. They are direct activities. But if you consider that we could prefer goods and services with reduced environmental impacts, yes, reducing our environmental footprint, with buying products with better environmental performances is extremely easy, and the possibility to train people for preferring this kind of products is very important. We finished the first course. Next year we will start with the second course, and many other activities. I do say the time available is short, but these are probably the most important.
I see that you have reached many of your goals and objectives under the center activities. Do you want to underline other examples more?
I believe that another important aspect is the relationship with the RUS, Rete delle Università Sostenibili, network Sustainable University, Italian Sustainability Universities, because we have the possibility to cope with the other reality, exchange best practice, exploit the most effective option, and we are doing this kind of activities. In the meantime, we have prepared the first carbon footprint of the university. In the meantime, we have prepared the first energy plan of the university, and many other activities. I would like to say that the path is particularly complex, but on the other hand, start with the idea of the center is very effective for coping with the emergency and with the difficulties due to the difficult time that we are living.
So in the last question. What's your plan for future inside our university and maybe for extend collaboration abroad?
Many different plans. I want to start from the Sustainable Development Goals because we are preparing a vision for every Sustainable Development Goals according to the Mediterranean reality. Second aspect is to involve more and more our students in our activities. And third, last but not least, involve the maximum potential amount of stakeholders of sustainability in the Mediterranean context for establishing a memorandum of understanding between students of our area for reaching effective way of sustainable development.
And we wish you good luck for your future works and thanks for your time.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. It was a pleasure for me. And I'm glad to be here today with you and more in general with this important event and project that you are developing within our university. Thank you so much.
Thanks again.